Hey guys, coming at you with a brand new video going over the top 8 limited cards that should be banned. Top 8 limited cards that should be either semi-limited or unlimited. Most of them semi-limited, but there's one or two I feel that could be fully unlimited. And I want to start off this list by going over Book of Moon. Now, Book of Moon is it is currently still a very strong card, but I don't feel it's broken. I don't think anyone's ever said Book of Moon should be banned, and I feel like with cancerous cards such as Zodiac, having access to tools such as Book of Moon is very valuable for a diverse meta. Its effect is very simple. You target a monster at target, so that's fair, and you change to face down defense position. I think this is pretty self-explanatory. If it were at 2, 3 might be a little overkill, but 2 definitely Book of Moon deserves to be semi-limited. Next up we have Bottomless Trap Hole, and whenever your opponent summons a monster with 1500 or more attack, you can destroy the monster, and if you do, banish it. Now, this card is very good because, if your opponent, you're able to banish cards, however, you're still destroying cards as well, so your opponent can still counter it with anti-destruction cards, and then on top of that, you're also, I know it's a little bit power creep, but I feel like it gives more viability to the Trap Tricks monster because there's so many rank 4 monsters right now in the game that it's hard to, really have one of them stand out. So I feel like having 2 Bottomless Trap Holes would make Trap Tricks Rafflesia much more of a viable card in Standard. If you don't know what that card is, it's basically an XYZ that lets you activate the trap card whenever. I think it's from your deck. You can activate it so if you have the Trap Tricks Rafflesia on the field, your opponent summons something, you can Bottomless Trap Hole. However, if you draw Bottomless Trap Hole before you can Rafflesia, you're in trouble. So if you have 2 Bottomless Trap Hole, it makes it more likely that you'd be able to get some use out of that card. Next up, we have Blast from the Past. This card is Wall of Revealing Light, and you activate this by paying any multiple of 1,000 life points. Normally, you'll pay 3,000. I feel is the fairest amount, but some people might play it differently. And then your opponent cannot attack with monsters with that much attack. Now, maybe their intention was to speed the game up by getting rid of cards like this, but the game is obviously too fast. Even with Link monsters, the game is still going to be too fast. So, semi-limiting Wall of Revealing Light, I know stun decks can be a little bit annoying, but I'd rather have decks like burn decks and stall decks and mill decks or whatever. I'd rather have those cheaper decks be a little bit more viable, just so the price tag of being in competitive Yu-Gi-Oh goes a little bit down, because I feel that that's what would be the healthiest for the game. And by the way, when was the last time you saw this card played in any deck, even limited? So I feel like semi-limiting is heck, even completely unlimiting this card is reasonable. Next up, we have Monster Gate. Now, Monster Gate, its effect is you contribute 1 monster, and then you excavate cards from the top of your deck until you get a monster that can be normal summoned, and then you special summon it, and you send the other cards to the graveyard. Now, I feel that Monster Gate is still a very good card, but it does have a cost. You are attributing, and I feel that the card is actually less used than a card like Reasoning, where you basically get a card for free. And Monster Gate is really a -1 in order to get some sort of monster from your deck, and frankly, being able to special summon any monster is not really, depending on your deck, but given most cards and the fact that the most powerful cards would not allow them to be summoned by this, I feel that having 2 Monster Gates would be perfectly fine. Okay, so it looks like by accident I have 2 Monster Gates up here. So let me see. We went over the first one. Okay, we went over the first 4 cards. So next up we have Dark Armed Dragon, and Dark Armed Dragon basically completely dominated a format. So you might think, if it dominated a format, why should we bring it back? Well, that format was also almost a decade ago. So given how long this card has been out and how prominent it is, I think it's totally fine to have it 2, even 3. I still don't think it would come back the way it was. Heck, I still don't see this card played in most decks. And the way the card works is you have to have exactly 3. So it's not like Judgment Dragon where you can have 4 or more monsters. I think that's how Judgment Dragon works. Where if you have 4 or more, you can just special summon it, which by the way is more powerful. But Dark Arm Dragon, you just have to have exactly 3, and then you can banish a dark monster, then target one card in the field to destroy that target. Now, it's not once per turn, but still, it's such a difficult to summon card. It's balanced enough that I feel that Dark Arm Dragon could definitely come back as either at a 2 of or a 3 of, I think would be fair for this card. Next up, we have Wisdom Eye Magician. Now, it is a pendulum card. It is one of the cards that was recently limited. However, you can already see that it's semi-limited in the OCG, and I feel that it would be totally fair to have Wisdom Eye Magician come back as a semi-limited card, because unlike a broken card such as Kieran, this card really isn't that broken. Its effect is if you have a Magician or Performapal card, you can destroy the card, and if you do, you can place another Magician Pendulum monster from your deck. Now, maybe the reason they wanted to do it, well, no, you can't even say that, because at the end of the card it says you cannot choose Wisdom Eye Magician as the card you special summon, so I really don't think the card is that broken. And then its monster effect is kind of a hand trap. You can, well, it's not really a hand trap, you discard it, and then you target a card in the Pendulum Zone whose Pendulum scale is different from its original scale, and it becomes its original scale. So it's a very, its monster effect is basically almost worthless or incredibly situational, where the pendulum effect is much more reasonable. Now, coming up at, number 7, we have Final Countdown. And Final Countdown, its effect is you pay 2,000 life points, and then after 20 turns have passed, counting the turn you activate this card, you win the duel. And this is probably the most controversial card I've chosen, because a lot of people think that decks like this are, a little cancerous. The stall decks, the cards that, really slow the game down, don't let you play Yu-Gi-Oh! But the reality is that a lot of the best cards are all about countering and not playing Yu-Gi-Oh! If your deck can reasonably stall your opponent for 20 turns, you deserve to win the duel. Heck, your opponent is probably going to deck out anyway. So I really don't see why this card, some people say 2,000 life points is not enough. I think that's perfectly fine. And having this card at 2, even 3, I don't even think that would make the deck super viable. It would maybe be a little annoying at tournaments, but like I said before, when I was looking at these cards, I was looking at 2 big things. Number 1 was bringing the price down of Yu-Gi-Oh! Number 2 was really being able to see what cards would allow rogue decks to thrive. So, having cards like Final Countdown and Wall Revealing Light back in the game would make the metagame a little bit more diverse, whereas these archaic methods of winning would have a little bit more of an advantage. Now, you guys might notice that I've only gone over 7 cards because I was a little unprepared here, but because I thought I already chose the cards, but I was mistaken. So let me go ahead and choose a card right here. Okay. And this card is going to be the one that I choose. Is Macro Cosmos is the final card that should be unlimited or semi-limited. The card is unlimited in the OCG, and it barely sees play. Yes, it is a little anti-meta, but it is just, just being able to banish all cards, and it's a continuous trap card. It's incredibly slow. It's incredibly counterable. I feel that this card, maybe more so than any other card, which is ironic because I didn't put it on the list first, but should be unlimited just because I feel that it is really limited for barely any reason. The reality is that way too many decks in Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now use the graveyard resources too effectively. We need cards like Macro Cosmos to be around to kind of counter that, and so that we have more options in Yu-Gi-Oh! And that's what these lists are about, and that's what I wish that Konami would focus on when they come up with this new ban list. Hopefully they will, which is more diversity in Yu-Gi-Oh! I hope you guys really enjoyed the video. I'm probably going to do another video based on the semi-limited cards. Maybe I'll choose some cards that I think should be banned as well. I think that'll probably be, so those will be the two videos I make coming up in the next week. Also expect I'm going to be doing a top 8 Legend of Zelda games coming up this week. So please guys, I'd really appreciate it if you could like and subscribe. I hope you guys have a wonderful week, and peace out.